You play with white. There is no solution actually, and this is a position where you should just look and say, grandmasters know this. Is it winning or is it draw? This bishop is blocking this diagonal, and we cannot get this pawn. We cannot get also from here.
Do you ever wonder if you have chess talent? What if you have enough talent to become a grandmaster? Well, today you're going to be able to find that out because I'm going to be taking a 20-question quiz that most masters, which is what I am, will fail, but most grandmasters will pass. I invite you to follow along at home and see how many of the positions you can get correct. And if you're wondering, most grandmasters are going to be able to score at least 15 correct out of these 20 positions. Let's get right into it.
Let's go. The first position, you play with white pieces. Your knight is under attack. You need to think what to do.
Wow, I want to play Queen H6, but let's see. Queen H6, Knight G4, Knight F6, but I'm thinking King H5. Oh, there's checkmate. Rook H7 is checkmate. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we can at least trade queens. So I think it's Queen H6. That seems like a grandmaster test move.
Why do you want to trade the queens?
My king is in danger, and I feel like the endgame is going to benefit us. The pawn structure is all messed up for black, so...
Yeah, here is weak, and here is weak, yeah?
Yeah. Queen H6.
Beautiful! Wow! First one
Yes.
done. Queen H6, right.
Yes.
King H6, Knight G4, check, yes. And king has problem. And if here there is this pin, and you take back the queen, and then all black's pawn structure is crushed. And if King H5, you found it like very quickly. Knight F6 is a beautiful fork, and there is a mate.
Nice.
So
nice.
wow. Like here is a mistake. People are immediately think about the knight. However, in chess, you need to first calculate checks, as you often teach in your videos. So I wanted to see if you walk the talk and you calculated check first. And you have great fantasy, great tactical vision, man. Like, wow. All right. Great.
Nice.
Next one.
Wow, Knight B6 just looks good right away. But no, then Bishop C5, I'm going to lose a pawn. Knight B6, Bishop C5, I feel like there must be some move I'm missing. Let's see. Maybe we just play E4, E5. I mean, if I'm playing a game, I think I would just play... E4.
So it's your final answer.
Yeah, I think I'm out of time. So I'll say E4, but I don't feel super confident about this one.
Yes, it's wrong.
Okay.
So this one, you are calculating about Knight B6 and E4 at the end. You said, Nelson. Indeed, this is the pawn that blocks these two pawns and this bishop. And if you can keep this, you are probably going to win. But the problem is next move, black wants to play D6 and solve everything, trade this pawn with this, and then they will be fine. And here, only at the end, after saying E4, you accidentally notice the move that. With white, if I said that with white is playing Vasily Ivanchuk, I guess you would say it immediately, like in 5 seconds. Yeah, Queen D6, and here to see this move, you need a little bit fantasy, and this is very difficult to find during the game, but of course not for such level of Ivanchuk.
Right.
D6, you just misclick. You just put it, and you block this pawn. That's the whole idea.
Yep.
And if they take it back, you sacrifice the queen, but you take back the queen and it's trapped. It cannot go here. It cannot go here. And then also this bishop will be forever dead.
Yeah.
So that's the correct one.
Nice.
You play with black. Let's go.
If I get a queen, the rook can't take, but the bishop takes. Then what's my plan? Okay, I feel like maybe Queen E3 is a good move, but like I'm thinking Queen E3, Queen E1, and then we get a queen on D1 or something like that. I don't think the queen can check us too much because we can move to like F6 with the king or H6. So, okay, Queen E3.
Okay, you lose a little bit more confidence if you say that, but you should not. This is Grandmaster level puzzles. The answer is wrong.
Wrong. Okay. Yeah. Wow. I don't see it. All right.
This one is a Grandmaster plus and not easy. The thing here is we are piece down, and you somehow need to have this fantasy that grandmasters usually solve lots of compositions, thousands. I have myself solved about 5,000 in between compositions studies to improve fantasy. And here you need to find this move, which I will like show king h6. You will be like, what? Why king h6? But the idea is that if you get rid of this pawn, and if you get rid of this rook, and you take on h3, your king is stalemated.
Wow.
And after king h6, there is actually no way for white to stop next move d1. If you take with rook, there will be mate. Take here, and then rook h2.
Wow.
And then stalemate suddenly.
Wow. Yeah, no, it wasn't even on my mind. Stalemate trap.
Yes. Play with white. We have an endgame.
I'm thinking about taking on g5 and then taking on... I don't know, actually. Maybe we just take the bishop
give
on
your
c8.
bishop pair, yeah?
Yeah. I guess taking on c8 and rook d7, rook d1 looks pretty good too. We could put our bishop on b6 to stop any rooks from going there. So taking on c8, bishop b6, then rook d7. Okay, that looks good. Yeah, let's go. Let's go do that. Bishop b6.
Take and then put the bishop there, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting, but wrong.
Oh, no.
This one is a very beautiful positional game played by world woman champion Xu Jun. She played against Larsen. And this is, of course, nice idea to capture that bishop, play rook d7, or play bishop b6. That's all our valid moves. The thing here is that black wants to play h5 and fix their issues, because this knight cannot move. This knight is a bit trapped. And here, this is a very strange move, yeah, to give this strong bishop to this knight at the edge of the board, which you thought about, but then you gave it up. But that was the correct move. And now this is the worst piece. It's blocked here. And now Xu Jun played this move, going back.
Whoa.
The point is that this pawn is gone. Black cannot play h5 anymore. They have no move with the knight because of the pin. The bishop is blocked here. The rook has no move. The rook has no move. And white is bringing the knight to c4, attacking this opponent here. The next one, so it starts from this position. I will tell you. You are playing with white. And this is the position. Black took the pawn. Your timer goes. The question is how to take it back with the pawn, or you can also take with the knight.
Okay, that's the question. How to take back? All right.
That's the question.
Oh, definitely with the knight. Yeah, definitely with the knight. Because if bishop b2,
With the knight, and
I think we play c3, takes my rook. I have knight f6, bishop h6, checkmate.
Man, you have a grandmaster level tactical vision. What was that? In less than 10 seconds, or how about that? You noticed c3 move? What was that?
Yeah,
So
no, I like to. I've done this before,
so
right?
Quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, check. The king cannot go there. The knight is, and here there is bishop h6, and black is mated.
Yeah, that's nice.
Wow, man! Wow. So we go.
Yeah.
Black move.
I'm thinking knight e4, and then we try to play g5, g4, and attack on the king side. And we can do bring the queen over, queen f6. We can play rook f6, rook lift, king h8, rook g8. All of those are the ideas that I would go for. So yeah, I think definitely knight e4.
That's the answer.
Oh, there is there a tactic though? Let's see.
Seconds
Take on f3, e5, e4, but they take back with the pawn. I mean, I think I would still play knight e4. Yeah.
Knight e4. All right. So knight e4 and queen e7 are the two moves that are offered by being offered by masters. And you saw this bishop f3 giving up the bishop with an interesting idea that after queen f3, there is e5 attacking this bishop and then e4, and you're forking and winning a piece. But you are not sure about gf3. Yeah, you ruin opponent's pawn structure. Oops. Sorry. You ruin the opponent pawn structure, but then maybe your king will be under attack and the opponent has bishop pair. So this position you are not sure. And we will come back to this.
Okay.
Knight e4, of course, is a nice move, but it's not the correct move.
Okay.
All right, so this one, you say knight e4, which is like very logical move, very typical to this knight e4, and then either you push g5 or you bring the rook. Queen e7 will be fine move. And here at the last moment, you notice this move that it's very difficult to notice. And to think about such move, even 2700 masters might miss this because this is so illogical. You have this monster bishop that you are so proud and you give the bishop to the knight, it just doesn't come close to your mind. However, you notice this, bishop f3 with this tactic, e5, and then e4.
Yep.
But you stopped it because of gf3. However, actually, it is very bad position for white after knight h5. Now you want to take it, completely crush their position. And if they go back, just play f4. You don't let them to play f4. You play f4, you block this pawn, then queen h4 is coming, the bishop is dead. If at any moment they take it, their whole pawn structure is crushed, queen is coming, so the position is kind of lost for white.
Yep. Makes sense when I see it like that.
Similar pawn structure, you're playing with black, and you already brought your rook as you wanted in the previous example. And now there are a few plans. You have rook g6 to attack here. You have rook h6 to attack here. g5, g4, e5, c5. So there are many moves.
I think I would play rook g6 because let's say they go f3, then maybe you can go queen g5, queen d2. We can probably play e5 there and then bring the other rook, or maybe push e4. Like, I feel like that's a great position for us.
Okay.
The only thing that I'm not sure about is bishop takes g2 if there's a tactic, but I didn't calculate it all the way. I was thinking rook g6, queen g5, but for some reason I don't. Actually, maybe that's just winning. Wait, bishop takes g2, g6. How do they stop queen g2? Okay, can I change my answer? Can I change to bishop to g2?
Yes.
But there's king f3.
I'm very kind.
There's king f3 though.
There is king f3, true.
And then they run away. Okay. Okay,
so
never mind.
Your final answer?
My answer. Yeah, we'll just stick with rook g6.
Rook g6.
Yeah.
But then there is this sound, and the answer is wrong. So rook g6, rook h6, they all are logical move. At the end, you notice bishop g2, very nice. With idea king h1, queen g5, and yes, there is no defense against queen g2. White cannot play rook g1 because there is this bishop that is in between of them. But at the end, also you notice king f3, and then king runs, and we don't have time to bring the queen.
Right.
So yeah, you said rook g6, but this is again, if you're a Dutch player and you play this a lot, and you know also this idea is that you should not allow f3 bishop g3, because once you allow this, white is fine. So there is this nice move, just block f3 and play ba-bam.
Whoa.
All you need to do is stop that move. And if it comes to your idea, and there is no way to stop it.
Wow.
And if they don't take, it's done, because f3 is the move to connect these two pieces to the king. And then, yes, you are crushing it. Next move is coming rook g6, attacking here. And then you can even play queen h4, preparing queen h3, queen g2, or even queen h2.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And then check, and then rook h1. Mate. Now you have this stone wall, something that you play. And here black wants to play now g5, g4, select the knight, and then with this strong bishop, continue pressuring you. How should we stop this g5, g4?
Good question.
What are you thinking about?
Yeah, I'm thinking ignore it. I would probably just play b5, but and then try to defend.
Yes, that's a possible move. The problem is
h4.
that
I mean, we can play h4, but then they play h6, and I don't think we really want to play h5. The pawn looks too weak.
yeah.
So
Usually there is this rule, yeah, don't push your pawns in front of the king.
right,
So this is very, very dangerous move. H4.
right. I thought about 95, but it looks like we just lose a pawn, and I don't think that helps us. It actually opens
Black
up.
here has 3.
Yeah, opens up black's bishop. So
your move?
Man, I don't even know. I think I would have to play b5, but I think it's the wrong move.
All right. No, this is a wrong move. Because you are strong at tactics, but suddenly you miss a tactic for the opponent. This is something here.
Oh, yes.
So black can take this pawn, and if you take, they'll take back. So you lose.
I'm only strong at tactics when I'm the one attacking and looking for the tactic. That's what I've noticed.
So
yeah,
we will work on this one. We'll work on this one. So this one, how to stop g5, g4. I was playing with white. I was a master then. And this is the move probably I'm most proud that I found during the game in all my life. I remember during the game I was like, how should I stop this g5, g4? It's coming to my king and it will attack here and everything. And on top of that, actually black here wants to play a5. And with the idea that if you play b5, there is this.
Okay.
And then I found this move, Rook H1. I find my bishop, but the main idea is Queen A1.
What?
Yeah, it's all I need is to put my knight on e5. All I need is this. Now it's defended. And with my knight here, I block all those pieces, and my king is super safe. Everything is good. I can even start f3 myself and attack here. Or play b5. But with this having the knight on e5, I block this bishop, block that pieces, and that's it. There is no more attack. And Rook A3 is the only way to put the knight on e5. I remember during the game, how can I put the knight on e5? If only I put the knight on e5, it's done. And then, wow, okay, I need queen here. And then it came to my mind, this Rook A2, Queen A1, knight e5. This is how I found it. You play with white pieces. Your opponent has isolated weak pawn. How to continue.
Okay, so I mean, general rule is you blockade it. So like knight d4 comes to mind. I'm also thinking about knight f4, trying to put pressure on it. Bishop b5, I don't think makes sense because they just moved. Like, let's say c7. So let's see, knight d4, knight f4 is what I'm thinking. Which one is it? Yeah, there might be some tactics actually with bishop h7. So yeah, let's go knight f4.
Knight f4.
Yep.
All right, so I'm accepting your answer with sadness in my heart. It's wrong answer. It's sadness in my heart because there is another very big important principle when you play against isolated pawn, and you didn't come close to this. But I'm also happy because we are clearly seeing the gaps in your game and what you should do to improve it and go farther for international master and grandmaster. This one that you didn't come close. This is interesting. So here, one of the principle is if pawn has a isolated pawn, we need to block it
and trade pieces.
Which is yes, but there are two things. One is blocking the isolated pawn. This is something that known and even master says blocking and says knight d4, but it comes from a wrong translation from Soviet Union books. The word is not blocking but controlling. So all you need to do here in isolated pawn is control the isolated pawn. The problem with blocking that pawn is that you block also your rooks, and how you will ever win this pawn on d5. And if we check the history of chess evolution of that playing against isolated pawn, we will notice that all classics, they all blocked. The grandmaster who brought this said, no, it's not blocking, it's controlling. It was Karpov. And in our classical game, we have this game, Bisgeier against Karpov, where he didn't block the rooks. All the time, he just controlled, kept it open. And here in this case, it's very well controlled. So no problem with that. And the second thing is here, you trade pieces and you trade queens especially. Because the only compensation with having a isolated pawn is that you have a space because they have a pawn in the center. And if you trade the queens without pieces, the space doesn't matter much. So here are two moves that you should consider for this classic. Yeah? And here is a surprising move, yeah, because masters, we all think about knight f4, yeah. If I say this, like, if someone played like this move, many will think, okay, this is clearly below 1200 rated player, doubling the pawns, allowing opponents having a passed pawn. But this is the right move, and this is a grandmaster level move, and it's very deep.
Yeah.
The idea that this pawn is anyway weak, even if on d4 here we will have three pieces and we'll capture this pawn. It cannot. But the idea here is in this pawn structure, yeah, it's eventually push these pawns at some point, attack the knight, the defender, and then win this pawn. But then you have 3 against 3. Well, if you take with this pawn, next is coming f5, g4, and here you are going to have 4 pawn against 3. You are going to push this pawn, pressure the bishop and the knight, the protector of this pawn, and then they will eventually lose this pawn.
Wow. So just needing an extra pawn over there.
Yes. Yes. You play with the black pieces.
Black to move?
Yes.
Maybe Rook H1.
You are maniac, tactic maniac, Nelson.
Yeah, because we have Queen H3 and Rook E1 after. If they take us, and if they don't take us, yeah, then we're still gonna, yeah.
Is it your answer?
Yeah.
Man, you are just absolutely crushing. Even the position that it looks like positional fight. People think about Queen E4, they calculate Queen E2, such moves, and you just immediately see Rook H1. This is brilliant, man. That's correct answer. Yeah, you should just do maybe 5 minutes a day tactic just to keep yourself in a good shape. The rest of the time you work on positional clearly. Already it's clear.
Yeah.
Wow, bravo. Next one.
Yep.
Endgame. Those boring endgame. Here we have symmetrical pawn structure, 2 against 2 in the queen side, and 4 against 4 in the king side. So white to play. How you should continue, 1 minute.
The first thing that came to my mind was bishop g5. f6, move my bishop somewhere. Maybe we created a weakness on e6, but that doesn't make sense. Then I was thinking knight d4, but I don't really see, like, if they just move the bishop.
Also think about removing this defender.
Oh, no.
Okay. No. Yeah, possible. But takes bishop d7 and defense here.
Yeah, no, I didn't even really consider it.
Okay. Your time goes. How to continue?
I'm going to play knight d4. I'm trying to play like bishop e3 and get rid of that bishop on c5. I don't know. I feel like don't really know what the plan should be here.
That's a wrong move. First, there is better move. Second is maybe you are again missing a tactic for the opponent because they can take and play 5 here. Yeah, so you are right. You see your tactics good, but for opponents you blunder. Yeah, that's good judgment. So here I'm hearing lots of moves like knight d4, logical move, bishop g3, bishop f2, another logical move people are offering. But there is this tactic which is very surprising move. It is bishop e6. How you can think about such move? You just win a pawn here, like just that. So black has two moves. If they take with a pawn, you give this check. There is no knight f6 because this bishop is attacked, right? You will take the d8 and then here. And there is no
Okay.
f6 also.
Hmm.
And if they go back, you take this. If they take it the king, you take this, and there is a pin. They cannot take it back. And if they take with the rook, okay, now you can do that. Take and then take, and you are pawn up.
Wow. Wow. And if they take with the king?
Yes, and now this is the bishop that controls this square and also this square. In one case, it will be rook d6 check, and in another case, knight d4. So you play your b4. Now, if they take, you give a check. And next, when you take here, it's also not only you win material back, but it's a fork.
Wow.
And if you go back somewhere here, it's check, and you win this piece back, and you are pawn up.
Wow. Okay, yeah, that one.
That's difficult. That's difficult.
Yeah.
Even grandmasters miss this. Not all grandmasters find this.
Yeah, that is insane.
You play with white pieces.
I feel like castling queenside is good. Bishop b4 is interesting, but there's going to be c5, so maybe how about the rook c1? Bishop b4, okay, because then if we stop him from castling, not that that's a big deal, actually. Castling doesn't look that great for black either, so because if we castle queenside, they castle kingside, we play like h4, h5, that looks good for us too, so... But yeah, something about bishop b4. I don't know. It looks like the right move. Let's say bishop b4.
Wrong.
Was it castle queenside?
Say it again.
Was castling queenside the right move?
No.
No.
This is
Okay.
difficult move. This is your grandmaster move. All right, this position. Here, actually, the thing is this: that here strategically we have this 5 pawn against 4, but it's blocked because here we have double pawns, and we cannot in the future create a passed pawn. While here black has 3 against 2. And in this position, black doesn't want to castle at all because he will be under attack, h4, h5. But all black wants here is to solve the problem with the bishop. Play c5 and then bishop c6.
Okay.
The moves that you were thinking, bishop b4 here. And then rook c1 doesn't help much. There is bishop c6 because at the end of the variation also the h1 will hang.
Sure.
And looking at this now, I think even b6 there is. And then bishop c6. And if you take here, now your h1 and this is hanging.
Yep.
So the whole thing is about stopping this c5, bishop c6, and here there is this difficult move, bishop e4. Bishop stays here in the central position. And if c5, queen f3.
Yeah.
And you just play bishop e4 here. It's in the central position, which will help in h4, h5 here. It will help here. If you castle here, it will help here. So you just put bishop and queen behind the bishop.
So like a lot of these, you have to really understand what is your opponent going to be trying to do in the next couple of moves. And then you have to figure out the best way to stop it.
Yes. I call this golden question. What is your opponent's next move? And it can help also even in tactics as well. What's opponent's next move? Once you understand that, it will help. In calculation, it can be in tactic, it can be in positional. So this is something I noticed that you are not asking the question. So our course 7Q, 7 questions to find how to continue when you are lost.
Yeah.
You don't know how to think. There are 7 questions. What are my worst pieces, where I'm strong, where I'm weak? And one of the questions, what is opponent's next move? White to play.
This looks like such a nice position. But what's the way to do it? I mean, I want to play a knight e4. I want to play knight g4. I want to play knight f7 for some reason and just like sack everything. What is the move? I mean, I'm also thinking like we could maybe just take on f6 because we have a fork on d7. If so, they take with the pawn. then we can play something like knight g4 then. Man, seems like I'm missing something more powerful. Oh, what if we do no, maybe not. Okay, I was gonna say like knight g bishop g6. It's knight g6, queen e6, rook e3, rook h. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I gotta play a move. Okay. What do I play?
Time.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we play knight 94. I don't know.
94.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see your feelings that it's probably wrong, but 94, and you are right. It's wrong.
That's the right move?
No, that's wrong move.
Oh, I'm right that it's wrong. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you're right that it's wrong. Exactly.
Okay.
All right, so this one, you had the different ideas, knight g4, knight e4, bishop g6. And here there is this multifunctional strong move. If you ask this, some questions, yeah, what are our problems? We might notice the d4 pawn, and here we have these two pawns. What are the black's problem is the a7 pawn. It's weak here, right? c7 is also weak, but it's defended, but a7 is weak. And also the king is somehow in a position that, let's say with bishop g6, hg6, in this pawn structure, there are few ways to mate. Either we have the knight on g5 and then queen h7, or we have queen and rook together and then we mate. So what was played in the game? This beautiful move. Very strong multifunctional move. Rook can pressure here. Rook defends our right-handed pawn and is also to ready join the attack from here.
Wow. Okay.
Now, after rook a4, we might threaten something like this, and then d5. And oops. Done. Endgame.
I want to play d5 just to get a passed pawn that they have to worry about. Also opens up my bishop. So, yeah, let's go d5.
Let's go. But it's a wrong move. This one, I would bet that you would find that d5 is natural move. You create a passed pawn, you open the bishop. But you know, the way to calculate is check, captures, threat. So there is no check. What about this?
Knight b5. Yeah, it seems obvious right now.
Take rook c8, right? And if knight b5, rook c1 then?
Knight d6. And then I think bishop a3.
Yes, bishop a3. And the next one we take the rook. Black cannot move the rook because if they move the rook any position, yeah, there is this check, double check.
Right. Knight g7, yeah.
Yes. And mate. This is very beautiful and very difficult. This is 2600 plus position. And even if I give to 2700 Grandmasters, not 100% sure that all of them will solve. But you are Nelson Lopez. You have this fantasy. So let's go. You play with white pieces.
Okay. Well, I feel like we should trap that bishop somehow, but let's see if we can do it.
Yes, it's in the trap.
Rook a7 or rook c8. They go to c6. We go there. Get away. So if we go there, they go to, let's say, c6. We go there.
No master have solved this.
What's that?
No master have ever solved this from all my students.
Wow.
But there are grandmasters, few who solve this in less than 30 seconds.
Wow. Oh, it's not g6. Oh, maybe it is g6. Wow. Because we want to trap the king from escaping. Okay, g6. Let's play g6.
Why g6?
Because if the knight takes, we win the bishop. And if I think the only way that the king can get away is by playing g6 themselves and playing king g7. So we're stopping that. So like they can't really move their pieces, the king or the knight or the bishop.
And if they take with the pawn, let's say.
Now I can just use my king, right? If they. If they ever try to move like King H7, I can go.
Do this again, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We don't have time to get it. Yeah, okay, you're right. I don't know what the move is. I mean, I think I would play Rook C8 and then go hunting pawns, but it doesn't feel like the right solution.
Now, if I say that this is a wrong move, you will sue me because that's the correct move. But if I say the right, it's also not fully right because you didn't continue the correct idea. What is the right next move after G6? The second move is very important. So G6 is correct, but for playing G6, you need to find the next move. So
Oh,
I'm
okay.
giving you half point. But anyway, you are the first master who said G6. We'll come
Okay.
back to this very interesting position played by Grandmaster Mikhailevsky, and he found this in the game and was like, how? Because when you know it's training positions, there is chance. But when it's during the game, you find this, it's like,
Sure.
how you did it, man. So we'll come back to this. This one, man, indeed. Here, black wants to get rid of this, and the only way to get rid of this is this and the 96.
Yeah.
And even though it seems that the bishop is trapped, we cannot get it. If it's here, it defends here. If it's from here, this. Yes, we can win this pawn, but then G6, 96, and black gets rid of.
Yep.
So G6, to stop G6 is the brilliant move. Yeah, brilliant move, which actually Mikhailsky found during the game, but the follow-up now you need to stop the G5, G6. And you need to play F4. So if G5, you are playing
F5.
F5. You need to stop G6.
F6. Wow.
F6. You stop them.
Huh.
And now they cannot get rid of this. Rook C8, there is no move with the bishop, it's done. So it doesn't matter these pawns. And then you can bring your king, you can bring here, win the pawn, then go there, slowly, come here and win.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Okay.
So
That's cool.
This one you are getting half point. You found G6, you thought about this move, which is not easy to come. But then the idea for F5.
Yeah.
Suddenly black is blocked, no moves. And this is like amazing to find such things during the game, which Mikhailovsky Victor, very experienced grandmaster from Israel, found it during the game.
Yeah. That's cool.
All right, so this is from a game, Vallejo against Carlsen, when Carlsen was still much younger. It was played delay alapping. Here, white develops the bishop, attacking the knight to the tempo. Keeping the bishop here, pressuring the king, and black plays here d5. White play.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to play e6 just to make it hard for black to develop, but they just stick with the bishop, and I don't think that makes that much sense. Knight g5, bishop f5, queen f3, bishop g6, h4. I don't know if that makes sense. Bishop g5, they just go h6. We can go back. Knight c3. See, I don't know if I'm like supposed to be finding a tactic here, or there's just some like positional idea that's really powerful. Like I'm like really kind of lost in some of these.
That's the problem. That's the problem. During the game, you don't know. It's what is there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
This is a training that unfortunately many chess lovers they don't do. They go to Chesscom and okay, they know it's tactics, they know it's strategy, and they solve. But in real life, you don't know what's there. So
yeah.
So your move, my friend.
I'd play bishop g5, but I don't think it's the right
g5.
move. Yeah.
Yeah, you are right. You think correctly that you don't think it's a correct move. It's not the correct move. You are right. Yeah. So the question you should have asked is, what is black's next move? And if you ask this now, they want their next move to not play 6 because they will block the bishop, but to develop the bishop. G4, pin the knight. Yeah.
Yep.
Let's say we castle now. So we'll play bishop G4. Pin here. The next move they will play E6. Bishop E7, we have some problem with the D4 pawn, and so on.
Yep.
Now, if you think this way, we might think about H3, but then Bishop F5 they will play, and then E6. So,
Knight
Vallejo,
H4.
one of the strongest grandmasters of Spain, who lead the Spain team for years. Knight H4. Knight goes to the corner of the board. So White has only two pieces here developed, but they go against every rule. They put it corner just to stop these moves. If Bishop F5, Knight F5, if Bishop G4, Queen G4, and after E6, just go back.
Wow.
With the whole idea to keep the bishop here. But this is one of these demonstrations that, at first you know that you need to learn the rules and then learn when to break the rules.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So this Knight H4, but just breaking the rules. So development, develop the pieces castle. Yeah, no, you don't castle. You make another move and you take the knight to the corner. Yeah, very difficult move, Knight H4.
Yep.
You play with white. Black wants to mate us, and I'm betting 10 box of my favorite chocolate Raffaello that you will find this, how to save this position.
I feel like it's Knight F3, but I don't see the follow-up. I want to play Knight F3 to get my rook involved. Oh, man, I don't see it. I don't see it.
You could find it. I will lose my Raffaellos.
I don't see it. Oh, is it Knight F3, then Queen G7? Maybe it's Knight F3, then Queen G7. Okay.
I thought there is no Raffaello anymore. You're right. That's the way. Knight F3 defend here. And here, in order to block this rook, so we can take it and save this Queen G7. And now if they take the king, then we can take opponent's queen, and there is no mate anymore. And if Rook G7, you're right. You give check. Black has to go back. And then they are losing this rook, which was pinning us, and we could not. And after this, we are saved, and we are already the winning side. We didn't get mated.
Yeah.
Thank you for finding the solution. Otherwise, I would be very wrong for betting on your tactical vision. You play with white.
Okay. How hard could it be?
And there is no solution actually, and this is a position where you should just look and say, grandmasters know this. Is it winning or is it draw? And even if they don't know, they will quickly assess it's draw or win. So, win or draw. If draw y, if win y. This bishop is blocking this diagonal, and we cannot get this pawn. We cannot get also from here.
So the only thing that I know is like in some of these endgames, you can trap the bishop with your rook and king to where it doesn't have enough options, but I don't think that applies here. Oh, wait, can I sack my rook and take all three pawns and win? Take king g5, take the other one. Is that I don't know. So I don't know if that's a win or not. I don't know if 3 pawns against the bishop is a win. So I don't know. I'll say it's a draw. Just so I have an answer.
Draw, yeah. Yes. So the illustration was to show that like there is also endgames which are boring, but when you want grandmaster, you need to know such thing.
Yeah.
You need to know if this position is draw or not, and lots of positions like this. Rook against bishop, rook against knight, rook endgame, bishop endgame. So there is lots of work. And as you said, right, like if you take these all 3 pawns, bishop against 3 pawns, is it draw or not? It is a draw.
Okay.
But yeah, this position, it has a story. It's from a real game, and of a friend of mine went here with black pieces, thinking that this is a draw. And the white player, who is a grandmaster, goes also here because he knows it is a win. And grandmaster just knew more than a master, and as a result, he won. And we will come back to this, and I will show you the plan, the winning plan here.
Wow. Okay.
Well, Rook D5, Rook F5, if you take this and you try to get to 3 pawns, with the bishop it's actually a draw. But on top of that, once you try to do that, black will play bishop E1 also, and they will get your T3 pawn, so you will not be in time.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you do this, and with the next move you take it, there will be bishop E1, and you lose this pawn.
Sure. Okay.
So this position, the international master David Shahinyan thought that this is a draw, but Grandmaster Manuel Derpadrosian knew that it's winning, not thought, because when you play middle game and there is variation to calculate that come here, it's difficult to think it's draw or not. You should know or not know.
Sure.
And White knew that it's winning. And the winning move here is Rook D3 you do. Bishop move somewhere, and then G4.
Whoa.
You break here. If H4 you play H5, you break the leg of the pawn. You take here, and then you threaten King G6 with mate, plus get the pawn back. Or King G5 and get back. And you win here. And if Fg4 you play F5. And then again, here or here, you get these 2 pawns back, and then you win King Rook against
Fascinating.
King Rook against Bishop.
Fascinating.
Difficult one. So I'll help you a little bit. We will check your calculation, how quickly you calculate. Black to play complex position. 1 minute goes. White wants to take here and mate us. And here we have these 2 pawns that are going there.
Okay, so I guess only move is what, Queen A1? Otherwise we just get mated. Okay, so Queen A1 takes B2. Queen goes to B1. A2 takes Queen A1. Then they take our knight. No, then we take their bishop and have mate. They can play King H2. But then we're up material, we're up in exchange. Okay, I mean, I guess it has to be Queen A1. I only move, so I'm playing that in the game. Because I don't see it. How else I stop the checkmate?
So it was ready. Queen A1, B2, Queen B1.
A2.
Take.
Queen A1, Queen.
Take. Yeah. And they take the knight.
They take the knight, but we take on D3. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's over because White's bishop on F1 can't move. But that's the only line, right? I can't play anything else. I have to play.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
so
Queen F1, Rook E1, Knight C2. Oh.
Rook E1 and then Knight C2 check.
Yes. I didn't even think. So, okay, I've noticed that I have this problem where in certain positions like this, I will tell myself, this is the only move. And then I just move on and I miss like ideas like that.
Yes,
it happens a lot.
Okay.
It happens a lot.
All
yeah.
Right. All right. So I'm very kind today, So I'll give you this permission. Queen A1 or Queen F1?
Yeah. Queen F1. And then we go Rook E1, Knight C2, take the queen. And then we push those pawns and we win the game. Yeah.
Yes. I'm very kind today, but also I'm very tricky today because this is a wrong answer.
Oh, okay.
Because you forgot about King H2 and then what? And we will come back to this interesting position. All right. So Queen F1. At the end, you notice Queen F1 and then Rook E1 check. And then Knight C2 check and you win the queen back.
Mm-hmm.
However, here after Queen F1, I can play King H1. King H2.
Mm-hmm.
You still cannot here defend, yeah. Now, we didn't speak about Rook G8, but there is Rook H4 check. And it is made.
Right.
And if you do now Queen A1 and B2, White plays Queen H1. And then King here, check, and you are getting mated anyway.
Oh.
So that's why your initial Queen A1 was the correct.
Huh, okay.
You do b2, and now not a2, but c3, and you want this.
Oh, wow. That's such an
But this is
interesting position.
calculation, and in 1 minute, even if you see that after queen f1 there is king h2 and that variation, and then you see queen a1, it's good. But there was a problem in the calculation technique. You thought queen a1 from the immediate leap, but didn't think check first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Check first. Yeah.
Okay.
You play with white.
Oh, wow. I really want to play knight f5. They take me. I want to sack my bishop on g7. They take me. I want to go rook g1 check. They go king h7. I want to go rook h3. And good game. No, f4. Oh, then I take on h6. Take with the queen. And then checkmate. Yeah, checkmate on g5 or h4, depending on where the king goes. Yeah, yeah. Final answer, knight f5.
Nice, but it's wrong.
What? What? It's wrong?
We'll come back to this, but your calculation process should have been started not with this one, because it's not forcing. If you want to open the bishop, you should have started with one of this, because then it's with forcing. So the process is already wrong in the calculation, not the move, but the technique of calculation. Your schema was wrong, and we will come back to this.
Oh, okay, so like bishop takes g7 or knight takes g7 is not forcing enough, right? That's what you're saying.
It's not forcing enough. You don't force that. You're not sure. Do they take it? Maybe they play knight c4 and attack your queen. It's not forcing them. It's only. It's great you noticed about clearing the knight out of the way so we can sack, crush the position, yeah? But the move here you need to calculate first, the very, very first, yeah? Queen h6. This is what you need to calculate. Check. Once you notice that g6 and king h6 doesn't work, okay, then the way you calculate is captures and threats, right? So knight f5 possible, but this is the move, or this one, yeah? Like one of them you should calculate first. And the idea here is attack the queen. Your idea, you want to mate here, and now
we can queen h6, rook g1, rook h3.
Wow, yes. If you play rook g1, black runs here.
Right.
You play queen h6, and if take?
Yeah, rook g1.
Yeah, g1, yeah, and
yeah, they can't.
We are down queen, bishop, and knight, but there is no way to defend against rook h3. Even if bishop g2, it doesn't help. Rook g2 and rook h3.
Nice. Hey guys, let me know down below if you solved any of these problems correctly. And if you didn't, don't feel bad. As you saw, they were very, very challenging. Huge thank you to Avo for doing this video with me. If you haven't checked out his courses on Chessmood, I highly recommend you click the link down in the description. You get full access, but just for the month of May, which means there's only a couple of days left. You can still check it out, see what they're all about, decide if that's something that you're interested in. Highly, highly recommend you do that. He's a fantastic teacher and the courses are great. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. And as always, stay sharp, play smart, take care.